Hello guys and welcome to my channel. I wanted to give you a quick update about my progress learning this beautiful instrument for the past 6 months, and on average I spent about 1 hour each day, so that makes it about 180 hours. In this video I'll share with you why I decided to learn the guitar and where I come from. Secondly, I'll share with you the skills that I've learned and the things that I'm working on right now. And then lastly, I'll share with you some thoughts about and reflections about this whole process and what are my plans for the future. Before we begin, I wanted to give you a little bit more context about why I'm learning guitar and about myself as well. So my name is Sasha Pak, and although I don't have any formal musical training, apart from the voice lessons that I've taken over the years, I have been singing for many years, including singing with a jazz band in my hometown, as well as a full-blown orchestra there. And my hometown is a town in the far eastern part of Russia on an island called Sakhalin, which you can look up if you're interested in learning about history. The island has got a very interesting history because it's on the intersection or frontiers of Russia, Japan and Korea. I'm ethnically Korean, but born and raised in Russia. So singing has been my hobby and passion for many years. But then I took a bit of a backseat due to my busy corporate career. However, after I left my job in the beginning of 2018 and came to travel to Australia, it actually came back to kind of take the center stage, and I spent hours and hours just singing. When the pandemic hit and it affected the tourism and hospitality industries, I suddenly found myself without many opportunities to perform, but with a lot of free time on my hands. So after binging on a few Netflix shows and reading a couple of books, I finally thought to myself that it might be a good opportunity to actually learn an instrument, and I started out with the piano. Week 5 or 6 into my piano learning, I hit a bit of a roadblock and I felt really frustrated. But I still wanted to spend as much of my time as possible learning something music related. And as one of my friends pointed out, rest is just a change in activity. And I've had this guitar lying around for the past 3 or so years. So I thought I'm just going to upgrade my Yousician subscription to include the guitar. And this was the start of my guitar learning. Now, since picking up the guitar, I also decided to learn saxophone, which you can see standing just behind me. And if you would like to check my progress on either piano or saxophone, you can watch the relevant videos on my channel. So now I invite you guys to watch me progress from the early weeks of me recording myself to the skills that I've developed so far and the things that I'm learning and working on right now. And in the process, I will also share with you my thoughts and reflections on the learning journey, as well as I will share with you my thoughts about Yousician as a platform for learning guitar versus other options that I have looked into. Hey guys, so this is week 5 or 6 of me trying to learn the guitar on Yousician, and I've just also opened up the tabs on the UltimateGuitar. And I found the tabs that I think I can sing along to, sort of, and I almost know all the chords, so I'm gonna record it for some posterior evidence of my progress. Well, I heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do ya? Hey guys, this is week 13 of me playing or learning how to play the guitar using Yousician, and I'm now at level 5, and I think it's actually towards the end of the level 5. It's one of the tests to go from level 5 to onto level 6. Okay, I'm trying this song today. Decided to finally put whatever I learned to some use. Let's see how it goes. I found a love for me. Darling, just dive right in. Follow my lead. Wise man say only fools rush in. What would I do without your smart mouth, throwing me in and you kicking me out? Got my head spinning, no kidding, I can't pin you down. Hello darkness, my old friend, I've come to talk with you again. If this is to end in fire, and we should all burn together. Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I've been watching you for some time, can't stop staring at those ocean nights. So now guys, I'll give you a quick overview of the Yousician platform. I'll also touch upon the pros and cons of it from my experience in the last few months. And I will give you a taster of the skills that I have acquired from the levels that I have passed. We will also have a quick look in terms of what's coming in the levels 8, 9 and 10. And then finally, I will give you a taster of the things that I'm currently working on at level 7. I'll give you a very brief overview of the Yousician's functionality, its pros and cons, and the other options that I have considered for learning guitar. And if you guys would like to have a more in-depth review of Yousician functionality, please do let me know in the comments. So on the home screen of the Yousician, you have Home, Learn, and Challenges sections. And if you click on the Learn section, this will take you to the tree of learning. And it starts out with a single stream, but then it gets broken down into lead, knowledge, and rhythm. And I'll give you taster for lead and rhythm. Knowledge covers some music theory and also guitar fretboard, so I'm not going to go into that. But the lead and rhythm sections, they focus on developing skills. Lead gives you the skills to eventually play guitar solos. So if you want to play the lead melody from a song, for example, this will give you the skills to do that. And then the rhythm section is focused on giving you the skills to accompany yourself by playing chords, chord progressions, and it starts out with basic cowboy chords and it progresses to include some fancier chords, power chords, and then eventually also the bar chords. Now, depending on the type of the person you are, your personality and your preferences, you may like or actually dislike this gaming aspect of Yousician. I do like it because it gives me a good idea of how well I'm doing, both on challenges as well as on the curriculum pieces. So as you can see on this piece called Summer of Love for finger picking from level 7, I scored enough points to get myself into top 10% globally. And then if I check within my level, I'm actually within the top 5%. And you can even get to like top 1% if you really push yourself. Also, Yousician will be a great option for you if you're interested in learning not just guitar, but also, for example, learning piano, ukulele, bass, or even to learn a little bit of singing. I do believe that Yousician actually started out as a guitar learning app rather than any other instrument, because if you compare the number of people using Yousician Guitar versus Yousician Piano, there are way more people using the guitar. And this also explains probably why Yousician as an app is so good at recognizing the notes just through the microphone, because I actually started learning Yousician guitar and piano using my iPad without any connection going to the iPad. So it was just picking up the sounds coming out from both instruments. And it was very accurate, I would say at least 90% accurate at recognizing whether or not I hit the right notes. So this note recognition technology, as well as kind of very detailed scoring system for your performance, is one of the strong points of Yousician in my view. Because if you compare it to the JustinGuitar app or even the GuitarTricks app, those apps pale in comparison. And also I found that, for example, GuitarTricks app doesn't work as seamlessly across devices. So if I was logged onto GuitarTricks website and I tried to log on to GuitarTricks on my iPad, it just didn't work for me. And then JustinGuitar app is just like it feels like it's from the 20th century, whereas Yousician is from the 21st century when it comes to the interface and the functionality of the app. But what Yousician could do better is the quality of their video explanations could certainly be increased. Because if you look at the videos of the GuitarTricks, they actually give you like a 3-angle video providing you with a close-up on the fretting hand, the kind of the overall body frame view of the person playing, as well as kind of just the guitar close-up. And if you compare Yousician to JustinGuitar website, the JustinGuitar website actually comes free of charge, so you can learn for free if you have the discipline to do so. One other downside of Yousician is the dependence that people develop on this bouncing ball. And bouncing ball is like a crutch for the rhythm, and many people in the Facebook group for Yousician have complained that they can play a song within the Yousician, but if they try to play the same song outside of Yousician, they find that they cannot play it musically because they have developed this dependence. The way to address this is to make sure that Yousician is not the only source of your guitar training, and you do need to supplement Yousician with other sources and practice outside of Yousician as well. Other great features of the Yousician that I really like are the advanced options that you have, and these are the options that I use consistently for practicing. So for example, you have a play for me option, which gives you the sound of the guitar, the reference of what your playing should sound like. You also have the metronome, and then you can also mute the song so that it doesn't distract you and you only hear the actual piece without the backing track. The other thing is that you have this advanced notation, so you can switch and choose between the different options for notation. Now I'm using the one that also gives me the standard notation because this is something that I want to learn and develop. And furthermore, if you're struggling with a specific subset of the song or section within the song, you can limit your selection to that section and let the program loop over it over and over again until you get it right. Another functionality available within the practice mode is the speed adjustment, and you can adjust the speed of the song all the way from 100 down to 25%, or to make it harder for you, you can bring it up to 125%. Yousician is a great platform for training your muscle memory, but you do want to supplement it with additional resources that will provide you additional tips and knowledge on the music theory and guitar in general. And some people choose to go to places like JustinGuitar, and in my case I actually purchased a Udemy course. And this is a course that I'm referring to. It's a course called Complete Guitar System Beginner to Advanced by Erich Andreas, and it seems to be getting good reviews on Udemy. and with a 80% plus discount that I got on Black Friday, I thought it was going to be good value for money to supplement my guitar studies and knowledge. And as you can see, I'm following a very similar approach with my piano practice, where I would say I spent 90+% of my practice time in Yousician, building the skills and the muscle memory, but then I supplement my practice, my kind of physical practice and exercise in the gym, in the Yousician gym, with theoretical knowledge and additional tips on technique from Piano for All. So now you'll get a taste of the skills that I have picked up by passing levels 1 through to 6 in Yousician. And this is a quick overview of what I'm working on right now at level 7. Now, I don't know when I'm going to get through all of the 10 levels of the Yousician curriculum, but I do know that I should get at the current rate to level 8 within the next month or two. And in the meantime, what we can do is we can have a sneak peek preview of what levels 8, 9, and 10 have to offer in Yousician. So you can see, starting from level 8, there is some string bending techniques that are introduced. There's some groovy riffs, whatever that may be. And importantly, there are bar chords, which is something that I've actually been secretly working on in anticipation that I'll get there. Then there's loud and soft, which is probably working on the dynamics of how you play the guitar, playing it loudly and softly. And then come level 9, we get chord riffs. I don't know if you know what that is. Built-in speed, legato lines, finger picking challenge. So maybe a more advanced version of finger picking. Riffing speed, fretboard coverage, so maybe getting to know more of your fretboard. And finally, when you get to level 10, you start dealing with expressing yourself. So perhaps a little bit more, adding more dynamics to your playing in the lead. And then funky strummer, so maybe some funky strumming patterns in the rhythm section. And then alternate tuning and bending challenge, so more bending to come in level 10. And I believe some people were saying that you can actually bend on the classical and acoustic guitar, but it is way harder than it is on an electric one. So who knows, I might need to get an electric guitar to get past that level. And what we can actually do is we can kind of have a sneak preview of what level 10 may look like. And as you can see, you can actually have access and try pieces, musical pieces that are even harder than level 10. So you get level 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. But we'll just have a look at level 10 for now. And let's look at this Simple Man song, which includes both rhythm and lead. What it looks like. I'm just going to pause it and let's let the program play it for us, and I'm going to mute the song as well. So let's go. Okay, this doesn't look too bad, I guess. The speed is somewhat high. So this is just repeating. Let's rewind that a little. Okay, some slides. More slides to come. Okay, these are double stops. Okay, pull off. What else is here? Repeating section. More pull-offs. Okay, this must be the bending, which I still haven't discovered yet. Yeah, and more pull-offs. Okay, so it kind of gives you an idea of what level 10 looks like. So my high-level summary of guitar versus piano is that guitar is more like a snowboard and piano is more like alpine skis. So piano is very much more logical than the guitar when it comes to your fingers and hand positioning and learning the musical notation, whereas guitar is very awkward, and you'll find that your fingers and your wrist and the hand will be in much pain, especially in the beginning. However, once you've actually learned the basic open chords and you've overcome this pain in your wrist from placing your hand in a very awkward position, I found that it was actually easier to accompany myself while singing on the guitar than it was on the piano. On the piano, it took me about 300 hours or so to get to a point where I felt comfortable trying to accompany myself, whereas on the guitar, I was already trying to accompany myself even before I reached 100 hours. If you guys would like to have a more in-depth review and thoughts and reflections of learning guitar versus piano or guitar and piano, please do let me know in the comments below. So what are my next steps when it comes to learning the guitar? First of all, I'll continue following the structure of the Yousician curriculum, and it'll probably take me quite a bit of time to complete all 10 levels because level 7 is much harder than level 6 or any levels before that, and level 8, 9 and 10 are going to get even harder from what I've heard. Secondly, I've been working on my strumming technique inside and outside of the Yousician. I'm actually planning to do a separate video, practice video for strumming that the beginners like myself can use for play-along practice sessions. And finally, I will continue experimenting with the songs that I like from UltimateGuitar and incorporating them into my daily practice as well as my live streams. I wanted to leave you guys with a piece of advice and encouragement. I know that learning a new skill, a new instrument, or 3 in my case, can be very frustrating at times. I've been stuck at level 7 Yousician for weeks now, and a couple of weeks ago I've told myself that I will complete that level and that I will move forward. And I decided to try a new approach. So my new approach now is to set myself 15 to 20 minutes timer and then make myself practice a piece even though I may be dreading this piece, or I may find the new technique introduced in the piece very intimidating. Then what I find at the end of the 15 to 20 minute practice session is that I get to a level where I can actually play the piece reasonably well, so much so that I start enjoy playing it. And at the end of the session, I can then decide to extend the practice session by yet another 15 to 20 minutes, or if I feel tired, I'll take a break or move on to another instrument. So trust and have faith in yourself that in the end of the hours of practice, you'll eventually get there.